This Coltcast session this week is coming to you from the Ohio Educational Technology Conference.
OETC is a conference that brings together some of the best technology experts in the field. All kinds of vendors, booths, exhibits, really good keynote presentations, and some of the best workshops that I've been to. At each session I attended, I took what are called sketch notes, kind of visual notes for me to be able to remember everything that I learned. I'm going to share with you each of the sessions I attended and some of the biggest takeaways from each of them. The first one I went to was on universal design for learning, talking about having a flexible curriculum. This session focused on the fact that our lessons need to have multiple means of engagement, representation, and action and expression. Our goals, methods, materials, and assessments need to have variability, and we can use assistive technology in order to accomplish this. The next session was about coding, mainly with the focus that everyone can code. A lot of times we think of coding as being something separate, saved for computer science, not something that we would implement into the language arts classroom or to the science classroom. But coding is a process that teaches problem-solving skills, creativity, and collaboration. You can do this through multiple means. It doesn't just have to happen in the computer science classrooms. Apple's program called Swift provides some excellent curriculum materials to implement this in any classroom. This session was about 3D printing, and that we shouldn't just print something because it's fun or it looks cool, but that we should actually get our students to print with a purpose. This is a process that you can see in the top right-hand corner, getting the students to empathize with the problem, define what it is that needs to be solved, come up with ideas, prototype them, test them, and finally implement them. This process will help us to get our students to think like an engineer. This next session was about untangling the data, and there was a lot of information in it, really valuable, but some of the biggest takeaways are that we need to look at not just our value-added scores, but progress monitoring. When we look at the two of those over several years, we're able to get a better idea of what each student is capable of and what we need to work with them on in order to get them to be successful on upcoming state tests. We're able to access all of this through the EVAS website. This session focused on fine art and how we can use web-based portfolios for this, but I see this as something that we can use in any course. What the teacher did was create a Google web page using a Google Sites platform and posted the lesson content on there, including objectives, what the students had to do, and any resources they needed. Students then created their own website, again using Google Sites, and posted the final products that they created, creating a portfolio over time of all their accomplishments. I think this is something that would be great in any classroom. This session knocked my socks off. It was about using Google Sheets for project-based learning. But again, just like all these other sessions, they have implications for every classroom. This teacher used Google Sheets in order to recognize the fact that every student is going to learn at their own pace. So he created a sheet that he shared with all of his students. At the top were all the learning objectives, including all the lesson requirements, things that they had to do, and any resources that they needed to be linked out to. They were hyperlinked. On the left-hand column, there were student names, and students would go to their name, and then underneath of each objective, they would either click that, yes, I've accomplished that, or I'm in progress working on it. And then they could also choose red, I have no idea what I'm doing, yellow, I kind of have an idea what I'm doing and I'm working towards it, but I could use some help, or green, I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm working on it. This allowed each student to work at his or her own pace, and the teacher was better able to check in with every student throughout the class. It also helps students be able to problem solve. If a student had a red because they didn't know what they were doing, they could easily look and see what other student maybe had a green, had already accomplished that, and ask them for help. This is something that I see trying to implement more as I bring it back to Rolling Hills. This was an excellent opportunity. I can't wait to bring back all the resources and skills that I've learned and to share them with all of you. See you soon.